black and white. For decades since the beginning of movies and TV, other than a handful of exceptions, there was an absence of color. Now I'm sure back then people were just happy to see this relatively new art form and were more caught up in story rather than production. Though there were some notable colored movies during these times, they were few and far between and usually reserved for big budget tentpole films. Wizard of Oz is famous for its black and white intro and colorful transition, but it wasn't the first film shot in color, though many people to this day still think it was. In 1954, color TV was finally available to the public.
7-function, remote control color television, so beautiful it enhances any decor.
Though it now technically existed, only about 1% of households had a color TV, and 10 years later, more than 90% of the public still only had black and white televisions. By the mid-1960s, color had fully taken over, and black and white became more of an artistic choice rather than a budgetary one. In the early 1970s, Mel Brooks decided to take on the Universal monster movies and made a fantastic parody film known as Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein! Life, you hear me? Give my creation life!
At this point, color was so common, Mel Brooks had to fight the studio just to get it made in black and white to capture as much of the original feel and look as possible. He obviously won. As someone born in 1990, I always prejudged black and white movies and TV shows as old and couldn't possibly be as good as newer, more colorful movies and TV.
Dim your eyes! Too late.
I wasn't very smart. I actively avoided black and white media like the plague, while considering myself a film buff. Again, not very smart.
Yes, we all know what he did.
Young Frankenstein was the first movie I watched in black and white in its entirety, and I loved it. Not so much because it was in black and white, more that it's comedy genius and it still holds up today. I understood the black and white was necessary due to the source material it was making fun of. Though I loved the film, it didn't spark my love of black and white film and TV. That achievement belongs to the 1994 Tim Burton biopic, Ed Wood. In my humble opinion, Ed Wood is the best Tim Burton and Johnny Depp film, together or apart. As a sucker for films about making films,
all right, let's put it on film. Camera?
We're rolling.
Sound?
Ed, we don't have sound.
Oh. And action!
Ed Wood is the best of the best in this genre, and for the first time I found myself not hating or accepting the black and white aesthetic, but actively loving the colorless look. This was the first time I thought to myself, I wouldn't want to see this movie in color. The black and white not only helps bring you into the 1950s era world, but it serves as an emotional filter. Ed Wood is such an upbeat and confident man, even though he falls short in almost every aspect of his life and career. After rewatching this movie over and over again, I decided to venture into the world of black and white movies and TV shows. I watched the original Night of the Living Dead.
Probably be a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us.
Loved it. Sin City.
Wanted you dead and you know it. So you hit the saloons, the bad places, looking for the biggest, meanest lug around.
Amazing. Raging Bull. Schindler's List.
Is when we have every justification to kill.
Clerks.
Men and women who have made it their mission to serve their fellow man.
The Lighthouse. Frankenweenie.
Sparky! I can't believe it!
The French Dispatch.
Negotiations between undergraduates and the university administration break down abruptly in early morning hours after clamorous debate, angry name-calling, and finally, outright gambling over the right of free access to the girls' dormitory for all male students.
And most recently, Werewolf by Night. Even the 4-hour epic Zack Snyder's Justice League got a black and white release. which I hope becomes more of a trend. I feel there are a lot of movies, old and new, that would benefit from a black and white reissue. The one that stands out the most to me is the 1989 Batman film. This movie is for all intents and purposes a 1940s crime noir. You can't tell me this wouldn't be a perfect match.
Bruce Wayne.
And what do you do for a living?
Lieutenant, is there a 6-foot bat in Gotham City?
You can call me Joker.
When it comes to black and white TV, unfortunately, a lot of the older shows from the colorless era just don't hold up, and adding color wouldn't really help. There is one show, though, that was so ahead of its time, and that show is The Twilight Zone.
This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
From the pilot episode, I knew this show was special. Every episode crafts a fascinating story with either a cautionary tale, a look into human nature, moral dilemmas, and it's usually capped off with a smart and unforeseen twist. Just like the South Park episode where they struggle to find new ideas the Simpsons didn't already tackle. The Twilight Zone beat everyone to the twist. Time travel, space travel, isolation, aliens, immortality, greed, love, lust. They covered it all. And this was the 50s. And again, I found myself thinking, I wouldn't want to see this in color. The black and white aesthetic just adds so much to the mystery and the look and feel of this show. If you're on the fence about black and white films and TV, or you feel the lack of color hurts a film or TV show, try watching any of the examples I gave in this video, and I promise you there's something colorless out there that you will enjoy. So let me know your thoughts on black and white TV shows and movies down below, any recommendations you might have. And until next time, peace.
Cut!